Right.
Ravi Kathuria. I love the fact that we are meeting. It's a Friday evening, so for me, I'm thinking whiskey and relaxation, and I really am enjoying the idea, the prospect of having a rolling conversation. For those of the listeners who don't know who Ravi is, give us an idea.
Oh, oh, wow. For the listeners who don't know me, and I suspect that might be everyone who's listening.
But they are going to be so happy that they are listening to you.
Hi, you don't know me. And you know who I am? And this is a crazy answer, and you're going to think, I don't know, you're going to think differently about me once I say this. I am the universe. I am the universe. Not the character that I play, Ravi, but I am the universe. And let me tell you something. You too are the universe.
So, how
All
do you
right.
become the
I
universe?
say that again.
How do you become the universe?
Oh, you cannot become the universe. Universe is not something that you grow into. We are born, we are of the universe, by the universe, for the universe. We are always in the universe. You cannot take the universe out of me, and you cannot put the universe in me. I am in the universe. I am. I am a drop in the ocean. I am water like the rest of the ocean. But the ocean, I am the ocean, and the ocean is me. You can take me out of the ocean, and still I'm the ocean. I am the very essence of the ocean. I am the essence of the universe. I am the universe. That is
And
who I
how?
am.
So, how did you come to understand that?
Ah, Mr. Minter Dial. Now this is let the games begin. What a beautiful question right off 30 seconds into the conversation. Yes. And people who were your listeners who don't know me are probably going to be saying, thankfully, I was glad I don't know him.
That's, I
Let's answer the
believe,
question.
not true. Continue.
Okay. well, well, hello to your listeners. Thank you for knowing me, and I love to get to know you all too. This is it. How did I come to that realization? Right? Because we always think about the universe as something different than us. Go out and look at the stars, and you look at the universe outside, right? It's as if you are distinct watching the universe, right? And that's not, you are in the universe. You are very much, you're the creator, the projection, but you are also the projector. And you work on this thought, and you realize, I am the very part of this universe. So this realization, I've written a book called Happy Soul, Hungry Mind, and there's a chapter on it, chapter 20, called God, Universe, and Man. And in that, I make this, I was about to say a revelation. Somebody might argue with that. Let's say at least a declaration. All right. My declaration. And in that declaration, I say, what is, because I talk about what is God, right? People talk about God, and they talk about who is God. And I say, it's not, the question is not who is God, but what is God? And I equate that, I answer that question, and I say, God is the universe. The universe is God. We've always been taught that God creates the universe. And to me, the big capital U universe includes the entire system. It could be multiple universes, multiple big bangs, millions of big bangs, infinite number of big. It doesn't matter. That entire system, different universes with different laws of physics and chemistry. Who cares? That entire system of creation and destruction of universe, all of that when you put together, to me is God. Okay. So I make that declaration, and I think it's a revelation. The human race should wake up to that understanding. But once you wake up to that understanding, then you come to your own understanding and you say, I, as a human being, I have never been distinct from the universe. We have this notion of a mother and a child. The child is born of the mother, and then the child can be independent of the mother, attached to the
it
mother.
takes a while for the child to understand that they're different.
Yes, but but the child essentially can be an independent entity. I can never, ever, no matter what I do, be ever independent of the universe. You cannot take me out of the universe. Everything that I am has come from this universe. I am still in the universe. And when I dissolve into components, I go back into the universe. I cannot be separate. I have no independent identity.
Dust to dust.
Yes. Oh, or from universe to universe.
So, but the
Yeah.
question I have for you, Ravi, is at what moment, how did you come to that revelation? Because in the end of the day, as a child, you're the center of the universe of your mother generally,
Yes. Yeah.
so to speak, universe in that sort of little world that you
Yeah.
live in, and then all of a sudden you decide and you figure out that you have an independence, and then you usually reject your parents, and then you
Yes.
or inevitably follow what society and your parents code you to do.
Yeah.
In certain worlds there are costs,
Yeah.
and this idea of I am one with the universe. I have to imagine you had a specific moment or something that
So, yeah, this book that I was writing, Happy Soul, Hungry Mind, um, I had been thinking about its concepts for a long time, right? 20 years. I don't know how long I've been thinking about it. But you're asking me when I was writing the book, I would find myself, I don't know how, that I have written stuff that I did not even know existed in my mind and that I had never heard anywhere else. So this concept of God is the universe is God. I do not know where that came from. In the book I do write about this is that when I was growing up and I read the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, I have no beginning, no end when he's describing the time dimension, right? When he describes the space dimension, he says the same thing. I have no center, no median. I am essentially infinite. I am infinite in the dimensions that you can think about, right? And that is that has been expressed thousands of years ago, whatever the time frame may be, 5,000, 10,000 years, right? But thousands of years ago. Science discovered the notion of universe less than 200 years ago, 150 years ago. And science then begins to describe universe, and they come up with the concept. They say, oh, the universe is infinite. All right. It has no beginning and no end in terms of space dimension. Now, they made a mistake. Physicists made the mistake and said, well, it started with Big Bang. But I questioned that in the book. I said, look, Big Bang is like a firework in the sky. You can say the firework happened there, but the sky always existed, right? And so the Big Bang, Big Bang cannot violate what Albert Einstein said, which says matter or energy cannot be destroyed or created. Big Bang cannot create matter. Okay, it may be all squeezed into a very small space, but it could not create matter. Okay, physicists have to agree. So then you say this universe, whether it was squeezed into a small space or was occupying a very large space, has always existed. So in time dimension, t equals 0 doesn't start at Big Bang. T equals 0 is just happens to be a point on a some infinite scale, right? And then physicists talk about the universe is expanding. And I wish they would go back to fifth grade and really pay attention in their English classes, because their English teachers may be pulling their hair out that these kids really didn't pay attention in class. You cannot, it is absurd to say the infinite is expanding. That is the most nonsensical statement. And really, physicists, these are smart physicists. Any physicist who says the universe is expanding, just, I'm, sorry, I'm getting over animated here.
No, no, I
But
love it. I
just
love
me,
it.
I say, oh my God, if you cannot understand such a basic concept, why should I count on anything else you're saying? You lack basic comprehension. Mr.
Well,
Physicist, stop saying the universe is expanding. And some physicists are more careful. They say the visible universe is expanding, but that is nonsense. That really, what do you mean by visible universe is expanding? It means your eyesight is expanding, that you can look further. I mean, please, for heaven's sake, wake up. Okay, so when I put all of that together, I look at what Krishna said about everything, him being infinite, and I look at the universe being infinite in every dimension. In fact, I talk about there are dimensions of the universe that we as human beings have, of course, yet to discover. And there are some, there may be many, that may be beyond our comprehension at all. So the universe that I, as a physicist, claim to understand and all of that, I may be overlooking so many dimensions. And when I put all of that together and I describe the concept of God now, if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, then must be a duck. Okay? This is
so
it. And I go ahead, please.
yeah, so Ravi, philosophically, we know that, well, maths is philosophy. And I wanted to put to you three single words that, as an Indian, you will appreciate. At least we've been talking about Krishna and gods in some regard, but the Indians were the origin, the inventors of the zero.
Yes.
You've been talking about infinity, and yet
Yes.
you use the word universe.
Yes.
So it's a lot of numbers. And you said, if we could count. Well, I watched a recent documentary about the history of numbers. And it
Yes.
almost feels like in these three numbers, zero, uni, and infinity, we
Yes.
could spend hours talking about our existence. And yet, when you're in business, we have to count. There are numbers at the end of the month. We have to
Yes.
bring back to that pragmatism that belies philosophy. And so the issue is, how do you marry pragmatism with this type of philosophy?
Ah, oh wow. What a beautiful question. Uh, my book Happy Soul, Hungry Mind is a book on spirituality, but it's the only book on earth that I know of on spirituality that has a chapter on workplace culture, right? And it's because I've been a management consultant, even though I'm writing a book on spirituality, I could not get out of my habits. But you talk about businesses and being focused on the bottom line and tracking numbers. But when you think about a business is not the chairs and desk in the business. It's not the computers. Now you could say a business can just be its assets, right? Well, you have money and land, but really that is an investment. It's not a business. Okay. A business, at the heart of a business are human beings. That is what makes a business. All right. Human beings. And you know who the philosophy is for? It's not for the computers. AI doesn't need philosophy, even though you can talk to AI and it will act as if it understands philosophy. Please be careful. Please be really careful. Okay. Uh, please be careful. But the philosophy is not for AI, it's not for the computers, it's not for the desk or the telephones. philosophies for human beings, because human beings are the most fascinating aspect of a business. So, and how do you deliver? I was just having a conversation with a Fortune 500 CEO today, and coaching him, and I have to keep reminding him, because he keeps going back to operational thinking, right? I have to tell him and remind him his own potential, his company's potential. Because if you look at the numbers, the company is doing great, but still he's underserving his potential. His CFO, his board, his investors can look at the numbers and go, these are great numbers. But only I know, because I've spent time with the man, how much potential he has, that even he has an inkling to and a desire to, but is not focused on it.
Yeah, we've been using the word philosophy, which has in its etymology love and wisdom. And I would say that love and wisdom are far from most leaders' minds. Knowledge, power, money, numbers, but wisdom and love are way. I even had in my company a woman who I informally used to think of as my director of love. But most of
Yes.
my, all of my bosses, if I'd ever mentioned that, they would have looked at me like, you're a freaking
Yes.
nutcase. So, Ravi,
Yes.
I'm enjoying this. I'm going to go with a question to spark another thought. If tomorrow morning, because this is something you write about a lot about this, if tomorrow morning the entire world woke up without the ability to measure outcomes, as in, no numbers, no rankings, no scores, no CFOs, no financial statements, how would our work and personal lives change?
Oh my God, Minter, what a beautiful world would that be? What a beautiful freaking world would that be?
Would it
Because
work?
people would work. It would absolutely work. It would work so beautifully. Because I've written an article about that. Is we in this world, in society, we are so focused on on outcomes. We have forgotten to enjoy the effort. I wait all year to get my promotion, right? And
I wait for Friday night because oh,
yes,
I deserve my weekend.
yes, yes. I wait for the promotion. I wait to buy my house after working for 10 years. I wait to buy that sports car. I wait to get married. I wait to have kids. I wait for kids to grow up and move out. Wait for kids to get married. Then I wait for kids to have grandkids. I'm always waiting for an outcome. I'm waiting to become famous.
I'm waiting to
So the world
retire.
will know.
What about I'm
You're
waiting
waiting
to
to retire.
retire?
You're waiting to retire. Everyone is waiting for a freaking outcome in the future and forgetting to enjoy and relish the life that we have today. Because it takes me 15 years to save up money and buy a house, the grand mansion that I want. And those 15 years, I'm just waiting, collecting money, thinking about that mansion. And then when I move into the mansion, I enjoy it for 6 months or 3 months or 3 days before I find out that my friend bought a bigger one than me.
Oh shit.
Okay. And then I come home with my wife back to my mansion, and suddenly that dang thing seems a little smaller now. And you go, I waited 15 years to get here, and this outcome is not how I imagine or what I imagine to me. It betrays me. Outcomes may leave you dejected, but if you enjoy the process, if you enjoy the journey, and a lot of people will tell you this is defeatist thinking. They say, no, 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 focus, right? When kids go and young kids, when they play soccer and they come home, the kid comes home, What do parents ask him or her?
Did you
The
win?
first question, did you win? Did you win? And the kid, of course, did not win. So he or she goes to their room and just feels, yes, that the life is getting sucked out of them. Not once does a parent ask, did you have fun? Did you enjoy? What did you learn? What are you going to do to become better? We as a society, there is a show called the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Oh my God. And so they show these Hollywood mansions and beautiful cars and parties and all of these people hobnobbing and smiling and looking, having the best bodies on earth. And they keep projecting that onto you, and you look at that and you go, wow, well, if I'm not doing that, then I must be a loser.
I have no hair.
I have no hair. Oh my God.
Did I say that?
Actually, I'm pretty happy with having no hair. So I wanted this. I had to wait for years to get permission from my
I mean,
boss
of all the
for me
things you do,
to
you don't
shave
have
it
to
off.
go to the hairdresser. You save on shampoos. I mean, goodness.
I didn't. Yes. So they society projects that, right? And they say this. Oh my God, so many motivational speakers, and it just really bugs me. They'll stand up on stage and say, "Do you remember the name of this president? Do you know who was the president this year? Do you know who was the president this year?" And then they ask you, "Do you know who stood against him and did not become president?" Of course, nobody
The
remembers.
loser.
The loser. And they say, "Oh, nobody remembers losers." Well, in America, at least, we're a country of 400 million people. One person becomes president. So I've got one winner and 399 million losers. What, talk about society and how screwed up its thinking is. Why am I doing that with my life? Why would I put myself? I just had a conversation on a podcast yesterday, and we talked about 1,100 kids. I don't know statistics in other countries. Here 1,100 kids in the U.S. kill themselves each year. College age kids. That is just
1100.
terrible.
I'm going to have to imagine it's more than that.
It may
Right?
be. I read an article and it may be more, but this is. I mean, that's what we've got to address. Why are we creating a society that is all outcome based?
All right. So
We need
Ravi,
to focus on outcomes. We just don't need to be obsessed with them.
we have a society that's unreligizing in it's removing itself from religion in general. We have a society with mental health issues going up the gazing,
Yeah.
whether it's depression, anxiety, pathologies that aren't provable. We're almost wishing to be considered sick. And yet we talk about progress in our society. So, how do we move into another more spiritual without being woo woo and yet succeed in making a successful, sustainable business?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a notion that is so prevalent that we have got to change, right? Because because of the religious misdirection over the ages, we have come to believe that spirituality is only mystical and mysterious and mumbo jumbo or woo woo, and nothing could be further than the truth. Spirituality is simple, it is practical, and it is so relevant in modern day society, and it's applicable to everyone. And that is the one thing that raises the quality of our life and changes our perspective in life. It actually helps us live the best quality life.
So
I can be in the middle of
what's it?
London. I can be in the middle of New York, in the middle of the rush, and spirituality can help me enjoy London and New York even more, even though I'm living in the bastion of modern era cities.
So Ravi, if I am in the middle of London, in the middle of New York, what what is the process that I should be thinking of? I'm listening to this podcast. I'm in a taxi, rushing to my next meeting,
Yes,
and
yes,
or I'm on a run around Central Park or somewhere,
yes,
whatever, something like that.
yes.
And I'm listening to this. What should I be doing when I get back, take a bath, a shower, whatever? But what are the next practical steps to move
Yes.
towards a more fulfilling and sustainably successful business?
Towards business. The secret to success in life and happiness in life is the same secret, is the same recipe. Okay. And what is it? It is when your mind is peaceful and calm, you achieve success and you will achieve happiness. And when your mind is calm and peaceful, you will create the most value in your business. We have lived under the notion that frenzy creates value, frenzy destroys value. You will see the biggest leaders make the stupidest decisions because their mind gets overworked and they get caught up in their obsessions. And you watch the people who make the most well thought decisions over time, who are peaceful and calm, who understand their own business model and their business philosophy, they make the most powerful decisions, right? This man, Warren Buffett, look at the amount of wealth that he creates, right? Now, somebody would argue that an Elon Musk has created more wealth than Warren Buffett. Yes. But sometimes I worry about Elon Musk. Okay. Elon Musk can come close to destroying value for himself and others if he doesn't watch himself. Okay. He needs to stabilize and calm down. And recently, some of his posts have started asking that. He's awakening to asking what is the answer to the universe. He hasn't talked to me. Elon, if you're listening to this, please pick up the phone, call, save yourself some trouble. I can guide you. Okay.
I'll put your telephone number in the show notes.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Or send it to him. I'm happy to take his call, Elon. Um, but yeah, really. I mean, you watch him, he can be a little scattered.
So I want to push in, and I don't have any personal connections with Mr. Musk, but I do know a few people who do.
Well, you
Yet,
do him a favor by connecting with me. He will owe you that.
I suspect that
Mr.
would be a
Dial,
great.
you may
I,
become his best friend.
and I truly believe you're right about that. I mean, especially since he thinks about space. I wanted to comment, but it's not my place. But this idea of we are one. So I kind of push back on the idea of we are one because it feels so intangible, deeply abstract. Yet, do I make fun parallels between the way the neurons in our brain work and how similar that is to the neurons in a mouse, in the way the internet is created with nodes and computers that are attached in this distributed world, which is similar to the way the stars operate in our universe, which probably is similar to the way the universes are similarly connected in a multiverse world.
Yes,
And then when you go
yes,
down to the quantic level, with the
yes.
energies that are happening down in a quantum world, it's all the same. It is energy. But that was just a philosophical element. I wanted to get back to something a little bit more tangible and something much of what things you write about, which is this notion of being hungry. You,
Yes.
you talk about the hungry mind, and you also talk about ambition. So if we were talking about prosaically, we talk about curiosity, and
Yes.
generally that's an honorable, a good idea. Be curious,
Yes. Yes.
learn, stay
Yes.
young.
Yes.
And yet I think it contributes to that hunger. They're always wanting to learn more things. And ambition is now given a dirty word. It's sort of almost bad idea, ambition, while ambition has helped make so many great things happen in humanity.
Yes.
So how do you dot those I's, cross those T's?
Beautiful question. Beautiful question. And curiosity is good. Wanting to grow, earn money is absolutely necessary. Wanting to make life better for yourself, your family, for society, for your company. Otherwise, society would decay. So ambition is good. I distinguish in my book the difference between passion and obsession. Passion is good. It drives you forward. It lifts you. Obsession drowns you. Passion, if you reach into an obstacle, you will find ways around it and you will have perspective. Obsession makes you lose perspective, makes you stubborn. So if you're hungry to grow, that's good. If your hunger becomes an addiction, now you're screwed. And you will see CEOs, you talk about business, you will see CEOs who develop an addiction, either in their own persona and how great they are in their own ego. I used to work for a company called Enron. Your listeners may not know it, but it was at
Wait,
that
wait,
point
wait. Sound effect.
it was at that time the biggest bankruptcy in the world. And its CEO, this man who was the sharpest brain, and he let everybody know, used to say this to reporters. He said, I have never seen failure. Okay? What he said was, I've always been successful. Little did he know that the mother of all failures was just around the corner, which will put him into jail for 20 years and destroy the lives of thousands of employees, mine included. I left Enron. I say I left Enron. I got thrown out of Enron, and my baby was 2 weeks old.
That must have
So
been
thank
tough.
you. I have seen the ego of CEOs when they become obsessed about in their own greatness, and it happens through history, right? It's the difference between passion and obsession. Hungry. We have a basketball team here, Rockets, and 20 years ago,
Because you live in Houston. Mhm.
I live in Houston, Texas, and yes, we have a basketball team here in Houston, Texas, in the U.S. And they used to have, they won this championship, NBA championship 2 years in a row. It hasn't happened in 30 years. I guess 30 years. But they had a coach, Rudy Tomjanovich, and he had a saying for the team, which said, "Be humble." No, it said, "Be hungry and be humble." So you have to be hungry, but you have to be humble in understanding how that drives you, in understanding that you never get ahead of yourself. And then that will keep you on the path, right? Strive very hard in life, work very hard. Make sure you do not get obsessed with that promotion or that outcome, right? Work very hard on your effort, enjoy it, enjoy every day, relish your life. Life is short. Mr. Dial said that to me before the call began, and he's absolutely right. You will blink your eyes, and 30 years will go away so fast, and you'll wake up and you say, what happened to me? Where did 30 years go? I was so caught up in the frenzy. You may work in New York City, you may work in London, you may work in a huge big city where things are always moving, and yet you can connect with your peace while you're sitting in that cab headed to office, or driving yourself, or in the bus, or you're in the elevator listening to this podcast. You still have a moment to close your eyes and experience your peace within and see how it begins to change your life.
So, Ravi, I think this is a relevant moment. We usually talk about spirituality as a journey, not a destination. But if it weren't a journey, but instead a single moment that we
Yeah.
could was captured forever, what might that moment be?
You mean what would that feel like, or what would
Yeah,
that be?
well, yeah, how would it manifest?
Yeah, so let's get into the definition of spirituality quickly. I'm going to share with you the simplest definition of spirituality that can exist on earth, and it happens to be the most powerful as well. Nobody can give you a simpler, more powerful definition on earth. Nobody. All right? Not even God. Ooh. Now your listeners are wondering who this man is. I'm sure they don't even remember the name from the
Ravi Kathuria, Ravi
Oh,
Kathuria, let us focus.
Minter, I was hoping you was not going to bring it up. Let them. Yes, so let's answer the question, my friends. Let's answer, because this answer, the simplest definition, can change your life and must change your life, because it has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with the complex description that very learned people, even today, get up on talk shows and give this confusing, mind boggling description of spirituality that requires you to open the dictionary and look up words that they use. Very eloquent people, much better in English than the physicists that we talked about earlier, but to the detriment of spirituality. They misguide when they make spirituality complex. All right, friends, if you're driving, stop and listen safely, right? If you're in the elevator, go to the next floor. Don't be in
And
a
if
hurry
I
to get out.
if I may, if you're in bed listening to this, breathe.
Breathe. Yes. Please be ready to receive this. Please be ready to receive this, because this one thing can change your life. And it should. It absolutely is. And it, in fact, is the most important thing that you could ever hear in your life. Even more important, if I dare to say it, than your own name being called out to you when you were born by your mom or dad. Ooh, oh my God, this is almost Hollywood type built up. Okay.
Yeah, there must be a drum roll here.
There has to be a drum roll. All right, so there is no drum roll. So here it is. Very simply, spirituality is the experience of your own life force. There is a life energy in you. You may call it a soul, spirit, atma, whatever you want to call it. There is a life energy in you. When you experience your own life energy, that is spirituality. Okay. It's the simplest, most powerful definition on earth for spirituality.
I love
Now,
it.
as simple as it sounds, its implications are huge. It is mind boggling. The implication of this simple definition of spirituality. Friends, all it talks about is you and your life energy. There is nothing else. It doesn't talk about religion. Guess what? It doesn't talk about? It doesn't even talk about God. Spirituality is you and your life energy. Experience your own life energy. And guess what? It says you, it doesn't say who you. It doesn't ask you whether you're a woman or a man or a transgender or any other forms, right? It doesn't ask you whether you're gay or straight or bisexual or asexual or hypersexual. It doesn't ask you if you're Elon Musk, the richest man on earth, or second richest, depending on the day, or you are so much in debt. It doesn't ask you whether you're living in London or in New York or in the middle of the Amazon rainforest and have never encountered the modern world. Everyone on earth can experience their own spirituality. They don't need somebody's blessing or permission. You do not need to go visit or go on a pilgrimage.
Take some
You can
ayahuasca.
do it in your own house. Yeah,
All right,
you
so
do not need.
we don't have time to deliver the whole roadmap for doing that, but give us at least one clue as to how to understand, how to look for what is that life
Yes,
force.
yes. How to experience your life force. The only way to experience your life force, the only way, There is no other way to experience your life force. And it is an automatic process. It happens automatically. I'll give you an example quickly. But the only way to experience your own life force is when your mind becomes completely quiet, when it becomes still, when it becomes thoughtless, your life energy begins to become self evident. It's like the sun shines all the time. As soon as the clouds dissipate, you see the sun shining through. It's waiting, shining. It's your clouds in your mind, your thoughts, that prevent your life energy from shining through. It is shining in you all the time. Quiet your mind, become peaceful, and experience your life force.
So crazy people listening, running around, doing a million things, never having enough time to do whatever it is. What's the first step that they need to think about in order to sort of move off of the
Yes.
wheel that we're running around, the hungry mind that's
And
always
understand
chasing?
this. This doesn't mean that you lock yourself in a room for 24 hours and stop going to work and your family starves. That's not what this is suggesting. You don't have to be connecting with your life force 24 hours. Please, for heaven's sake, don't do that. I cannot send you a check. I'm not going to take responsibility for you or your family. You have to fend for yourself, okay? I'm here to help you spiritually, not materially. You need to take care of yourself materially. Okay? This doesn't mean, but take some few moments during the day. It may be 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. Learn to calm your mind down. And there are many techniques for calming the mind down. Disconnect from all the electronics, disconnect from having to send emails, disconnect from having to watch TV, disconnect from having to be on phone with a friend. Just sit down and calm down. And when you sit down and calm down, it will take you days and weeks and months for your mind to learn to calm down. It's not because as soon as you sit down, your mind is going to race because that's what it has knows and has the habit of doing since you were born. It will take it time, but give it time. Learn to sit down, and that's all you do. Over months and years, your mind will quiet down automatically. And as it begins to quiet down, your glimpses of your own life energy will become stronger and stronger. And let me also say this quickly, every person on earth has had glimpses of their soul. Everyone. When you go to a place of worship and nobody else is there, or when you're dancing in a devotional song, your mind
Bali.
becomes peaceful. You experience that.
So what this makes me think about, Ravi, is the mission that or the purpose that I had the great fortune of participating in when I was running Redkin. We had this purpose, and it seems to speak very much to these two ideas: the pragmatism, the materiality of actually you have to freaking make money to survive. It's part of our world, and our mission was earn a better living, make money, live a better life. It feels like the other quip, and maybe that's a book that we should write together. Is it's about dollars and cents, SENSE,
Yes. Sense. Yes.
senses, and making sense, meaningfulness. So
Yes.
pragmatism and
Yes.
I mean, 20 minutes a day, so that means that you have 23 hours and 40 minutes doing the other shit. By
Yes.
the way, taking showers, shaving, doing other stuff, paying
Yeah.
bills, driving to work, and then 20 minutes. It really only takes 20 minutes of sense to make the dollars really actually come in.
And I'll add this quickly. I have coached CEOs, top executives in the last few decades. Some very powerful people, some very rich people. They have all the success in the world, they have all the money in the world. But if you think that they're the most happiest in the world, then you're the dumbest fool on earth. Okay? So wake up from that stupid notion that when you have achieved success and money, you'll be happy. Okay? Be happy
Don't
now. Be
Yeah,
happy
don't
now
wait.
while you're in the cab. Be happy now while you're in the elevator. Be happy now while you wait for that meeting. Be happy now as you're sitting at home or in your bed, or you're holding somebody's hand, or you're looking out the window. Be happy now. Do not wait for happiness to come at a future time. Don't be stupid. Enjoy and relish what you have now. Can I be more direct than that? Do
I
you
don't
need
think
me to be
so.
more direct than that?
I think you've led us down a good garden path. And I think we just need to smell the roses, be present, which doesn't mean that we're not interested in efficiency and effectiveness and performance. It's almost like that they don't need to be diametrically opposed as is how we as a society are training ourselves. Ravi, it's been tremendously fun. I've enjoyed your energy, your outbursts, your attention in your words. So, for anyone who's listening and would like to get in touch with you, follow you, get your books, understand more about what you're up to in Houston with your Cohegic Corporation, the Houston Strategy Forum, which we didn't talk about, so many other things, but give us some calls to action for now.
Yeah, so thank you, sir. Thank you. You can reach me. I do three different things. I do spirituality, but I also have to feed my family. So I have to run my management consulting firm, coaching firm called Cohegic. Comes from strategic cohesion. Cohegic, COHEGIC.com. I of course am the founder president of the Houston Strategy Forum. We do that. But spiritualitywithin.com is the nearest, it is the most important work of my life, because it will one day transform this world and create a heaven on earth. This notion about spirituality that I talked to you about, please, friends, think about it, is the most important thing that you can ever hear in your life. I promise you, I guarantee it. Go to spiritualitywithin.com. Follow me on all the usual social media channels from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Social Spirituality Within is the handle. Uh, Read my book. Both are available on Amazon. Happy Soul, Hungry Mind is the spirituality book. How Cohesive is Your Company is the business book. The Happy Soul, Hungry Mind is also available in audio format. And if you want to save $20 and not spend that money on Amazon, then listen to the book for free on YouTube. The entire book is available. Now, I will urge you to go spend the $20, but if you want to save it, I understand. Listen to it. Listen to it, friends. Change your life. And if you disagree with it, let me know. I'd like to find out where I am wrong. I promise you, thought about this for a long time. You are the universe. Nobody can deny that. You are the universe, the capital U universe, which has multiverses in it. You are the universe. You cannot be denied that. You are the universe, and your spirituality cannot be denied. It is in your DNA. It will always be in your DNA. Realize your birthright, realize your destiny, realize your inheritance. You have been born a human being, and you're born with this incredible capability. Please, yeah, go make money. You need to make money. Enjoy. Buy yourself a fancy car, buy yourself a nice house, buy yourself a nice dress, eat the fanciest food, go on vacation, have all of that. Absolutely. And invite me too. I'm happy to come. Right? But please, please reach in and experience your spirituality, friends. That is the most wondrous gift the universe has given you. Don't be a fool and ignore that. Don't overlook that. It exists. It exists. It's there in you 24/7. How stupid would it be for you to ignore that? No, my friends, please experience it. Have fun. God bless you all.
Hey, listen, Ravi, as I imagined, a wonderful chat. Many, many thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Minter Dal. Thank you for having me. Thank you for blessing me with your presence. God bless you, sir. God bless your lovely wife. I wish the best for both of you and for everyone who is in your life and those whom you serve, your listeners. God bless you.
We'll
May
be
you
in
be all
touch,
the better.
Ravi.
Thank you.